If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Today we are continuing on with our Laravel e-commerce series, and I want to add some more functionality to our Algolia search. Before we get to that, I promised that I would show you some different examples in real-world applications where Algolia search is being used. The first is Laravel, and Laravel documentation. If you click this search button right here, you see that this search, you probably used it a bunch of times and not realize that this was Algolia, but as you can see here, this is the AIS powered by widget that we have in our app. And as you can see, if you type in search, it has the same sort of results, and also with the highlighting. So Laravel does use that. Stripe also uses Algolia for its search functionality. If we come up here, you can see once you click it, it already has some suggested items. If you type in, I don't know, API or something like that, it brings you a list of different API documents that there are. So Stripe is a service that we're using for this project. I just wanted to show you that it's there. Also, if you take a look at Laracast does use Algolia search, and it actually has some pretty cool little functionalities in here. And these are all different things that can be used and customized throughout Algolia. You don't have to do it exactly the way I've done it. I just wanted to show you some more options on how you could use it. As you can see, there's also a section here for relevant results. It also has suggested and just a list of different pages. So if you're familiar with Stop and Shop also uses Algolia for its search functionalities. Let's say you go here. You can type in different things, and this is automated. I don't have to type in anything. It just gives you different suggestions. It seems to be looping through all of the different ones that are here. But you can also type in other things as well. Fantastic. So for our purposes, what I want us to do is, I want to have a separate search page entirely. You can use either this shopping page the way we have it. It does look very basic. It's fine. It's very, very basic. But let's say, for example, that you want to go in and you want to type something that we don't have. This is what's going to be displayed in place of any items. 0 results found in 1 millisecond, and we don't have anything. And if we press enter, nothing happens. We've already set up some functionality to handle this. Let's go ahead and hook that up. So over in our text editor, if we go to that autocomplete component that we have, and we go to the input, which is right here, we have a keypress.enter search. So we can go ahead and define that method down below. So under the data property here, we'll just say methods, and we'll add our search. And the route that we have set up is this inertia get this route, and it's search Algolia index. We did that in the autocomplete episode. Here's our search route right here, search Algolia, and this is the controller that it's using, and that's the name that we're using in our method, which is search Algolia index. So in this index function, we already are returning products. So what we can do here is return inertia render, and I'm going to create a folder called searches, Algolia search. And for this, we'll just call it index. And now we can go ahead and pass in products again. Okay, so let's get rid of this. And let's go ahead and create that page. So again, it's going to be a folder called searches, Algolia search, and index.view. The reason I'm putting it in its own folder is in case we want to add any more search functionalities or any other pages or anything like that, at least we'll have the folder and the pages set up. So in here, we can go ahead and add a template. And I want to add some script tags. And this defined component can just be from view. And so for our props, we can just add that products. So the first thing that we're going to need in here is a app layout. And for the title, I'm just going to have it say search Algolia, and let's import that. And I also want the secondary header in here, and we created a component for this. All it is just a small section to display a little bit of a header for us. And the template will just be hashtag breadcrumbs. And we can have an icon in here. The name is just going to be angle right. We already have it. And I'm just going to put some classes on here. And then I just need a span tag. We're just going to say search coders shop. And let's also import that. Let's make sure that we can see this. And there should be search Algolia. Press enter. We have the page displaying now. Fantastic. So this page is essentially going to look like this. If we head to the Algolia documentation and under InstantSearch, which is the full search interface, you see that you have breadcrumb stats, sort by, you have different widgets that are used in here. Clear refinements, you have dynamic widgets, you have some categories in here, and then you have the results right here. And this is basically what we're going to be aiming for. So we're going to use some of these widgets to build our search page. Algolia is going to need some information to help us with this. So under components here, I'm going to add a data property. And in here, we need the index name, which is going to be products. We're going to need a placeholder for our input. And it's just going to say search. We're going to need an attribute. And if you remember from the Algolia search setup that we did, our attribute is going to be categories. Then we're going to also need to add our search client. And we can go ahead and copy it from that component. This stuff right here. Okay, and we also need to bring in this Algolia search. Okay, so the first widget that we're going to use is the AIS InstantSearch. And some of the properties that we're going to pass in through here. The first is going to be search client, and that's going to equal the search client with our credentials that we're passing in right down here. The next is going to be the index name. And that's just going to be, again, the index name that we're passing in through here, which is products. And then we're going to have some classes. I'm just going to paste these in to save us some time. And then under here, we're going to add a div. And then the next widget that we're going to use is the AIS search box. And this one we can shorten up. And for this, we're just going to add our placeholder. Then under the search bar, we're going to have some stats. And we're going to pass in some classes. And then just go ahead and close this off. And then we're going to need our AIS refinement list. Now what this is going to do is it's going to pass in our categories and it's going to loop through them so that we can display them in the sidebar. So in here we need the attribute, which is just the attribute. We just extracted these out just to make it a little bit more dynamic. You could also just put categories in here if you want. And the sort by is going to be an array. And we're going to say is refined. And then also by price ascending. And the classes, flex justify center. And on small screens, we're just going to do justify start. And then under the refinement list, we're going to go ahead and add our AIS powered by widget with some classes. And then go ahead and close that off. And then under the div, we're going to do another AIS configure. And all we need here are hits per page camel. And we're only going to be using 5 hits per page. And then under this, I need another div where we are going to be displaying our hits. And then within our hits, we're going to have a template. And we're going to vslat item equals item. This is the item that's coming in from Algolia. And so for here, we just need a link. And the href is going to be to route shop show. We're going to pass in the item slug. And then we just need a couple of classes on here, which is a flex space x8. Open up the link. And then I'm going to need 2 divs with a class of flex. And in the first one, I also want to add a width of 24 and a height of 24. Then I need an image. And in here, we just need storage, images, plus item image. And the alt will be the item name. Just a class on it, we'll say object cover. Okay, and in this flex, we'll also need a flex call h3 with the classes of text XL and font semi-bold. Here's really going to be easy. We're just going to do an AIS highlight. And we're going to pass in the hit. It's just going to be item, and the attribute for that will be name. Okay, let's close that off. Now we just need 2 spans. The first one is going to be item description. And the next is just going to be the price. So we're going to do filters, format, currency, item, price. Okay, that should be good. Let's go ahead and bring in our link. Let's go ahead and see what we have. Okay, very cool. So we have our categories over here. We're going to add a little bit more styling, see if we can fix that up. But as you can see, we have our items here with the price, and we're going to add some pagination and stuff too. Fantastic. First, let's go ahead and add in our pagination component. So under the end of this hits or widget, AIS pagination class equals flex justify center and MT4. Okay, let's just make sure that we're getting that first before we move on. Okay, so we need to add that styling in here as well. Now we're actually using a lot of the widgets here, and they do come with their own styling. This is our custom styling that we've added, but for things like this input, they have their own different custom styling for that. In the documentation, where we have this showcase view, if you head down on the left-hand side, you'll see this customizing an existing widget. If you click that and you go all the way down, you see that they have their own themes. So one is to reset, one's for satellite. We don't need reset because we're using Tailwind. Tailwind already resets all of the default styling for HTML. So if we head down, we can actually just go ahead and use the CDN for it. We don't even have to install it. So the one that we want is the minified one, the satellite min CSS. So for that, we can just go to the app.blade.php, and right where we're displaying our own styles, we can put it underneath. Let's give this a try. Okay, very cool. So now we have brought in that theme that they have. And if we click, it looks a lot nicer than ours. We can do some changes to that too. I'm not going to. It's just a little bit too much work for me right now. But as you can see, you can go ahead and fix that as well. You can customize it however you want. So right now we are, let's say we want to filter it by home goods. You see that we have home goods right here and it's paginated. And this women's one is also, it has two different categories. One's home goods and one's women's. Let's say we want to go to kids. Okay, so now we're doing home goods and kids. And it's in ascending order. Fantastic. We also have the search results found in 2 milliseconds. And then we also have some search in here too. So let's go ahead and click this off. And go ahead and let's say we type in kids. As you can see, it filters everything out by kids. It's paginated, it's highlighted, and then this is the category that we have left. Then you can click the X, and that'll just bring you right back to the default. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's go to the shop page. And if we type in something that doesn't exist, press enter, nothing happens. Let's go see why. Okay, if we head back to that autocomplete component that we have, search. Okay, let's remove one of these and that should kick in the way it's supposed to. Type in some gibberish, enter. There we go. We are at our search page because there were no results found. Fantastic. The other thing is, you don't even have to type anything in here. If you just put the cursor in there and press enter, that will also take you back to this search page. Fantastic. The other thing that I want to do is I want to add some ranking to our Scout products config file. So if we head back and we go to Scout products, okay, right down at the bottom, I'm just going to paste this in. And we're just going to be ranking it by the ascending price, typo, geo words, attribute proximity. These are just some ranking characteristics that we want to rank by. Let's go ahead and open up the terminal and then we can do PHP artisan scout sync. So now it says local settings got updated, wish to upload them. Yes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dashboard. Okay, so now if we head over to the search tab and we take a look, you see that we have our categories over here, the object ID, all of that other information is in here. And if we go to the configuration, our searchable attributes are the same. Ranking and sorting, we now have it ascending by price. The ranking criteria will be by typo, geo words, all of those things that we used. Fantastic. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click that like button as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.